Hey everyone, welcome back to Dark Forest for the next episode in our Let's Play series. So we are now into November on year 4 and we've got 2 jobs to do on the farm today. We've got the grass field to cut for its final cut this year of silage, and then we've got the soybeans as well, which are now ready to harvest. We've got quite a few pallets of eggs, and according to the time saving stock check, the price for eggs is very good this month, so we could possibly load up the eggs and get those sold up at the sell everything container. So since the last episode, I have continued doing a little bit more work around the farm, and we've literally got no money left. So I did a little bit more landscaping just around some of the sheds, especially this one. I actually landscaped a ramp up to this shed rather than using the concrete ramp that I thought was a little bit too steep. So I've kind of put one of those on either end, so it's a bit more of a gradual slope up into this barn now. It's not perfect. This end's not too bad. Well, I think the other end's slightly off where I couldn't quite get it level. But it's, I say, it's a lot better driving up and into this barn now than it was before. Well, that one's not too bad. It's not perfect, but it's better than what it was, at least. And I've just added a bit of grass around the back of this shed. The sheep pastures I did mention last time, I was not entirely happy with the actual pastures, so I decided to change those around again. So I've actually extended the fence back a little bit on here, and then I swapped the 2 sheep pastures 90 degrees around, so the feed and water troughs are at this end. It just feels a lot less cluttered than having them both opposite each other in this middle section. So it just feels a lot more open and, not, as I say, less cluttered. So I'm much happier with how it looks now. So I say sheep are doing well. Everything's been refilled back up. We've got 456 litres of wool since I moved the last pallets. So I think between these 2 pastures we're getting just under 1,000 litres as I skip through the night. I can't remember exactly how many hours that was, but yeah, the sheep are doing well. So yeah, the first job we'll do is we'll do the soybeans first. I'll just check. It was raining this morning. We'll just check on the weather. So it looks like it's going to be cloudy for the rest of the day. So we shouldn't have too many problems with having to stop for rain. Okay, so we've got the gravity wagons over there, and on our way over now with the combine. As I mentioned last time, once we've done this harvest, join these 2 fields together. We probably won't utilise the full section of this field. Might take a little bit off that top end, just to give us a little bit more space between that and the back of those fenced in areas. And then, as I mentioned, after the next harvest we do on both these fields, we'll join these fields together, what will be 2, and that field over there with the barley, to create one large field here. And hopefully by that point as well we'll have cleared some more land, so we've got some extra fields in other areas of the map. But for now, let's get the header unfolded, get that switched on and lowered down, and away we go with our final field to be harvested for year 4. Last little bit of soybeans to do, and that's all our harvesting done crops wise for this year. And I must say this is the first time I've done any harvesting at normal speed. I've been playing a lot on the hinterland map where I've just been doing a bit unrealistic stuff, and I'm just really come to realise now how slow 6 miles an hour actually feels when you're harvesting. When you've gotten used to doing 25 kilometers an hour, it's a 10-12 mile an hour harvesting. Just have enough to fill the first gravity wagon. And a little bit over, so it's about 14,000, 15,000 litres in total, I think. I'm pretty sure that gravity wagons are about 11,200, I think. So I'll get the header back onto the trailer and we'll get it folded back up first. And we can get the combine folded up and we'll get that put away. So let's just quickly see exactly how much we've got. 15,190 litres in total. It's not too bad. It's not the largest of fields we've got. And what I am considering doing is putting in one of the small farm production buildings from Omatana, which they're very small production buildings there. Nothing crazy with what they produce. Because we're getting such a little amount of crops, it might just give us a bit of an extra when we come to sell if we do some productions with the crops we've got. So the canola, we possibly do some canola oil instead of just selling the canola. And this is one problem I've found with this building as well, is a bit similar to when you put a pasture down, you get this grass. For some reason this building has got this square of grass here that comes back every time I reload the game. So I've deleted that bit of grass, textured over it, but every time you reload it just comes back. So yeah, that may need updating to get rid of that, which is a little bit annoying. It wouldn't be so bad if it didn't grow through this actual grid here. But it's a bit similar with the sheep pastures. If you try and delete the grass and put your own grass in there, every time you reload the game it will just default back to the grass that comes with the pasture. So I think in the productions we've got some of these small farm production buildings. That one does canola oil. They don't have huge production rate cycles per month, so they're nothing crazy. But there's quite a few options doing different products that we could possibly use. So I think that one does soy milk or some soy drink. I think there are some slightly larger ones. So potentially we could get something like that, which doesn't look too far off the kind of buildings we've got around here. That one you can see does quite a lot. Does premium potatoes, tomato sauce. So we could potentially switch the greenhouse to tomatoes and do something with the tomatoes from a greenhouse instead. Canola oil, sunflower oil, olive oil. Don't know if this one does anything with soybeans yet. So we could possibly put one of these. 50,000, obviously we can't afford that just yet. But one of those I think could fit in nicely somewhere. So give us something else to do with the small amount of crops we've got. So I'll get the rest of this put into the silo, and then the next job will be to get our grass field cut, so then we can get that baled up and the bales wrapped for silage. Okay, so the combine's been put away and we've got our mower hooked up onto the back of the John Deere, so we'll get the grass cut. I've taken the bale wrapper and both of our balers down to the store, so once we've got the grass cut and rode up ready to bale, we'll head down there, get those sold, and then hopefully buy the new baler. I may have to, well, not necessarily, I do have a trailer load of logs ready to sell which I cut up just to start clearing a bit of space up by the actual farm shop, or getting a spinnery built, or a new production in the future to process our wool into fabric and then clothing. Probably do a bit more forestry over this coming winter to try and get a bit more of that area cleared so we can get that built. But we've also got the eggs to sell as well, and I think we've got around about 18,000 litres of eggs. So we'll possibly have a look at loading up the pallets of eggs as well and getting those up to the store and getting those sold. But yeah, so for now we'll just get the grass cut and then get it raked up ready for baling. Okay, so that is the grass all done. We'll get this folded up. And we can get the mower put away. We'll get the rake on. We'll probably just use the International for that, as this John Deere does drink the fuel quite a bit. And we don't need such a large tractor to run the rake. Let's get this parked back in this shed. We'll put the John Deere in here. So we'll just go and grab the International, which is, should be in this section. Yeah. For some reason my super strength seems to keep re-enabling in itself. I'm not sure why. Which is preventing me from opening doors and getting into vehicles. I might have to just go through the key bindings and see if I've got a conflict with another mod somewhere. So yeah, we'll get the rake hooked up. I'll get all that raked up ready for baling. So we can go and get this new baler to try out. It is an all-in-one bale wrapper, so we can bale and wrap at the same time. So it should save us a bit of time as well. And it'd be nice to try something new out that I've not used before as well. So we are almost done raking up the grass. See, we've got some nice big rows to get baled up. It's been a while since obviously we had the break on this series. I can't remember now if this is the first cut we did, this being a completely full field, or did we do one cut after we ploughed it in previously? Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a while. I remember cutting it before we ploughed in the extension to the grass field, but I can't remember if we've done a cut after that as well. Well, anyway, we've almost finished. So then we can head up to the store. We'll get the new baler, providing we can actually afford it. At the moment we can't, so we do need to sell the other equipment. And I don't think the 2 balers we've got and the bale wrapper, don't think we'll get enough money just from selling those. So we will need to sell the logs as well, which should give us plenty. And so we do have the eggs if need be. Okay, so we're just on our way down to the store. I've decided to bring the animal transport trailer with us as well to sell, as I do want to replace this with something a little bit different. That's not something we need to worry about doing just yet, so we can buy that in the future when we need it. Because we hopefully won't be having to transport any sheep anytime soon. We'll get that one dropped off. So we're going to sell all these items of equipment. So the 2 balers, which we don't really need 2 different ones now. So we'll do the repair, repaint, because we always get just that little bit more back when we sell it. We can't repaint that one because we don't quite have enough just yet. see if we can afford to do this one. No. Yeah, it looks like we might have to sell something first before we can. What we'll do actually, we'll go and sell the wood. So I've got a trailer load of logs here. I've started clearing off some trees so we can get a spinnery or the production that does both fabric and clothing in the one building, possibly. And that one's a little bit more expensive. But I think it works out the same price as buying the tailor shop and spinnery separately. I'm pretty sure the spinnery is 60,000, tailor shop 90, and that production building that does both fabric and clothing is 150,000. So a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of the same price as if we was buying the 2 separate productions. So 44,580. I missed one log in there, which is still struck down. No, 20,757. And over 270 for that last log. So yeah, that gives us plenty of money that we can repair, repaint everything before we sell it. You don't get a huge amount more than you would if you just sell it straight off, but you do get a little bit more on the sell price. So yeah, probably for the next episode over winter, we'll have a look at clearing some more trees. Possibly get that area finished off as well, so we can get the money to get the production in. So we'll sell that. So it's 28,475. We'll do the same in this one. Repaint and sell. Repair. Repaint and sell. So 112,902 we're up to. Let's do the same for this. So not a huge amount for these, but it's a little bit more money. So we've got equipment we're not using at the moment. That just takes up to 129,290. So more than enough for the baler. Virtual buy. I keep going to this store even though I know the actual store trigger's nowhere near the actual door. So if we go to balers, and the one I'm going to get was released recently, which is the quick bale by Mark IV. Doesn't look all that great in Chrome, I'll be honest, but we'll go for the John Deere branded one. We'll put the silage additive tank on as well, so we can get 5% more on our grass when we put it in. Foil colour will go with John Deere yellow. Main colour will stick this to John Deere green, and rim colour John Deere yellow. License plate, we want to turn that off. So that's going to cost us 61,000, but this one does all three round bales types, so 125, 150s, 180s, and it does wrap all those sizes as well. So we can bale and wrap 180 centimeter silage bales on the move, and also it's based off the fast bale, so we shouldn't need to stop. So we continuous round baling, so that'll save us a bit of time and fewer bales to pick up as well. We've been able to do the 1.8, so we'll get this back to the farm and give it a try out. Okay, so back down to our field. I did completely forget to buy some silage additive, so I had to go back and get some, but we are, well, 99% full on silage additive. So we'll get the baler unfolded. We'll just double check we have got the 180 bales. Get that switched off, get that turned on and lowered down, and away we go. So we should hopefully be able to go at a reasonable speed with this and not have to stop. But we'll be able to do the 1.8 centimeter bales. I say you should not have to stop, but okay, so now we're working as intended. I just had to nip out the game and disable the round baler extension mod, which was causing it to stop every time the bale chamber was full. As you can see now, we're doing 13 miles an hour without stopping at all, and we're bale wrapping. So yeah, there was a slight conflict just between those two mods. But now it's working as intended and working a lot better, so we can possibly even push the speed a little bit more, but I think 13 miles an hour is fast enough. So far we've got 13 bales. We've still got quite a lot to do as well. So it should give us a nice amount of money come January, and they should be ready to sell along with those other silage bales we've got there. We're on the last few rows now to do. So far we've got 26 bales. So it's working a lot better now. I've disabled the round baler extension mod, which if you're not familiar with that mod, it basically stops the stops the baler at 100%, or slows it down at 90% and then stops it dead at 100% full. So if you are round baling, you miss the audio beeper, it'll automatically stop the tractor and baler at 100%, so you're not having to reverse back up and pick up any crop you've missed. But obviously that was causing the problem with the pre-chamber getting to 100%. It was actually stopping the baler when it didn't need to. So yeah, seems to be working a lot better now. Visually, the actual chamber section in the middle could do with being made bigger, because obviously the bales come out the smaller size, and then they kind of, when they go into the wrapper, they magically change into the larger bales, as you watch now. Just see, it magically just boom, goes bigger. There's one slight downside to the to this mod, but it seems to have a nice wide pickup on it. Although we've missed a few tiny little bits, well, I think that was more my little bits I've missed on the raking rather than the baler. But I think we are pretty much all done. A few tiny little bits, so I don't think we'll get another bale. Probably just a waste of diesel picking these little bits up. Well, there we go, there's all our grass done. So we'll get the Anderson connected up, and we'll get all the bales picked up and get them put into storage. So let's just check how many got. So 28 bales in total. And they are the larger bales as well, so they're the 1.8 meters, which is what, 7,500 litre silage or grass. Yep, 7,500 litres compared to, oh, these are 7.5s as well, aren't they? Because that was the Anderson inline wrapper that also does 1.8. So there's going to be a nice amount of silage to sell over, well, late winter. We'll put this, actually we'll see if we get this in the other shed. There's nothing as well. It sounds like it's still running even though it's not. That's stopped. Yeah. Yeah, so may need a slight update just to iron out a few minor problems with it. But other than that, it did a good job. It's reduced our equipment as well, so we've got replaced 3 items of equipment, the 2 balers and the bale wrapper for 1 piece of equipment. So we'll go and grab the Anderson. I'm going to put the silage bales probably just on that bit of grass there next to the fence. Well, actually might just put them next to the white silage bales. So we've got, was it 28 we got in total? So that's 1 full load of the Anderson, then 4 after that. So we'll get all these collected up. And I think after that, we'll probably load up the eggs. We'll get the eggs sold, as it is still showing that November is the best month to sell the eggs. So we'll get all the pallets of eggs sold, and then I think we might have a look at clearing a few more trees up by the store to finish off. That's the first 24 bales collected up. So we'll drop these off just next to these white ones here, so they're all together for when we come to load them up. It should be in January, I think it will be when these will be ready, and usually that's the best price for silage. There's the first 24 dropped off, and I think we've got 4 left yet. So we'll go and get those collected up and get those into the stacked up next to those ones, and then that'll be job all done. And that's the next job. Well, actually, while we've got the money, I'll probably move the chickens as something I wanted to do. So we'll get the new chicken shed built, and then we can get the other eggs, the rest of the eggs loaded up then, and get those sold. And while we're up at the store, then we'll jump into the tree harvester and continue cutting down a few more trees up there, just to clear a bit more space, ready for the next production building to go in, and get a bit more money in the bank as well. Which we'll need for the production building itself, and also so we can get a bit more progress done. I think the biggest thing is going to be progress wise is now just clearing space so we can get another field in. Making money is not so much of an issue because we can make quite a bit from forestry. There we go, there's all 28 silage bales all stacked up, ready to be sold once they're fermented. We'll get the Anderson put away, and then we'll have a look at building this new chicken shed. So which does look a nice building. The only downside is it doesn't hold as many chickens as the current one we've got. So I was considering possibly even putting a smaller one next to it as well. If we just go into build mode and animals, so we want chickens. So the one we've got actually, oh, it's quite expensive. It's 45,000 actually, and only holds 200 chickens. So from a financial point of view, it's probably not the best option, as we could go with Omatana's large one, which holds what, 4 times as many chickens and is 6,000 cheaper, and looks a lot smaller as well. I do like the look of this one though, but 45,000 for a new chicken coop, it might not be the best use of our money at the moment, especially the fact that it holds less chickens. So I may leave that just for a little bit, just until we've got a little bit more money. So if we disconnect that, we'll just trying to think what we can use to load up the pallets of eggs, because the semi-truck's up at the store. We don't have another flatbed trailer. We do have our pickup, which will connect to that gooseneck, but it is a little bit small, our pickup truck, for that. We'll use that, because I do want to replace the pickup truck as well. But we'll get the eggs loaded up, and we can get those up to the store and get them sold. Okay, so we have the pallets of eggs all loaded up. We've got 18,200 litres in total. So we'll get these sold. I did bring all the pickup truck, although I said previously this pickup truck's way too small for this trailer. So I would like to get a new truck. I won't sell this one. We'll keep this one. Maybe donate it to one of our workers. But it would be nice to get a slightly bigger truck that can handle this gooseneck trailer a little bit better. So there's our 18,200 litres of eggs sold for $25,228. If we just park this up round here, as you can see, yeah, it's just way too small, this truck. Get that parked up. We'll actually just double check. I don't think I've actually checked the used equipment. Oh, nice Tiger Series 3. A TLX 9000 series truck. I don't think we quite need a tractor that big just yet, but that would have been a nice tractor to get. We could actually afford S780 combine. A little bit too pricey. Been at 390,000 at 44% off. Wow. And the forage boxes we don't quite need at the moment. So yeah, what we'll do to finish off, I'll probably clear a few more trees. As I mentioned earlier, I've started to clear a few in this area. So what I was planning on doing is putting in a new road in. I'll probably come just on the edge of this grass, so we're not risk of blocking up the delivery area for the store. So it'll probably come just where this tree harvester is, on the edge of the grass, put a new road in that joins up then with that track down there, and then goes off to the farm. And then from this clearing, again, I don't want to put anything in this clearing area just in case it blocks anything being spawned for the store. So we'll have the road that will come straight across here, and then possibly either side of the road we can start putting some of our other production buildings. And maybe add another sell point or two along there as well. So it does slope up a little bit this side. So if we do build this side, it will cost a little bit more landscaping wise. So I think possibly, even though I've cleared that, when I started clearing, I didn't realise quite how much it sloped up there. So it might be better off to continue clearing this side, and then put the production building on that side where it's a bit flatter. It's going to be a lot cheaper to build. So I do have some logs left over here. One thing I would like to do as well to try and help speed up is get a wood chipper and then wood chip some of these trees just to take out the loading. We won't make as much money, but we should still make a fair amount of money. But at the moment we don't. Let me just check to see, can we actually afford the wood chipper? So forestry, and there was a new set of wood chippers that amount to the 5th wheel that was released recently. Yeah, so we've got the ends crusher platform. The medium one for me personally is the better one because the conveyor is a lot wider. So this is the big one, but the actual conveyor and the cut head is a lot smaller than this one, which is nice and wide. And we, unfortunately, we are just ever so slightly short being able to afford that. So what we'll do is, if I grab a load of logs quickly that we've already got cut, we'll get these sold, and it should give us enough money to be able to buy that crusher and get it mounted on the back of the Mack truck. We will need a trailer to put the wood chips into. I think that's just going to help clear up some of the areas with the trees a bit quicker because we won't have to go through the whole loading the logs up. We can just literally cut them down and put them straight into the wood chipper. And I have tested that one and it does do a very good job of chipping the trees. Not like the one I tried previously, which constantly kept getting blocked up or flicking the logs back out of it. And it ended up being more hassle than it was worth, which was a shame. So yeah, we don't need much more, so I think we'll probably need around about 10,000 for a trailer that we can then put the wood chips into. So yeah, if I sell this load of logs, that should give us enough money then to get that wood chipper and get a trailer that we can start putting the wood chips into. Okay, so we'll get this load sold. So this should just about give us enough money for that wood crusher and hopefully a trailer. 15,247. The current price of wood chips is around about 400 per 1,000 litres. It's not quite at its highest point, but that's still a lot better than base game wood chip prices. I think the highest it'll go up to on hard economy is around about 500. So we'll go back to forestry and we'll get the medium crusher platform. Probably just keep it standard colours, so we'll buy that. 95,000. That leaves us with 13,225. So if we go to trailers, and I'll probably just get this one, the gooseneck tipper trailer. 26,000 litre capacity. There is the extension which takes 30. Ramps we don't need. Unrealistic we don't want on this series. That's for hinterland. So we'll purchase that as well. So yeah, this should just help speed up with some of the clearing of trees at least. Or hopefully it will. So we'll make so much money from forestry, it doesn't really matter that we're not going to make as much. And sometimes I feel that forestry makes a little bit too much money. So we'll get that attached on there. We'll get this over by the trees. So yeah, we'll look to clear this area. Let's bring that back a little bit and get that unfolded. Get the pipe out. Get that switched on and we'll go and grab the pickup truck. Once we've got enough money, we'll get the new pickup truck as well to use for these gooseneck trailers. I'll get that load down. I say this truck just looks ridiculously small when you get these trailers on. So if we park this up somewhere close by, it looks like that's picked up on the pipe. And we get the tree harvester. If I can find it, where it is, there it is. And I'll set the cut length will set to probably 2 meters. I think should be long enough, or won't be too long. So I'll try 2 meters to start with, and we'll just cut the trees direct onto that conveyor. I say I did test this briefly, and it did literally pull in an entire tree. If you dropped it on the conveyor, it did seem to work very well. So we'll have a go at getting a few of these trees cleared for some wood chips, and getting a bit of money back in the bank. It looks like our trailer is full. Our first 30,000 litres of wood chips. Look at that one switched off. Once we've got enough money as well, we'll get a larger tipper trailer for the semi-truck. It will mean that we'll have to disconnect the wood chipper every time we need to unload the trailer, but it'll mean we can fill up for a longer period of time before we need to unload the trailer. So we should get around about, what, 13,000 for this load, which is not bad for a few minutes work. So there we go, 12,545, which is not too bad for a trailer of wood chips. So I'm going to continue probably clearing a few more trees just to get those sold as well. I say opening up this space a little bit more. And I may start clearing down the edge of the grass down that way to that track to clear the space for the new roadway to go in. Okay, so we'll do this for the last load of wood chips. Should probably be one more tree, and then we'll call it quits for today. So we've cleared pretty much all the way across now. So we've got that space opened up. We can put the road in across the front of the store and then connect up to this track here. And then eventually we'll redo that road going down towards the farm as well, once we've cleared a bit of space either side and get it actually textured into asphalt. So it's like a proper road. But the wood chipper and the trailer have almost pretty much paid for themselves. So we're back up to over 100,000. Wood chipper works really well. As I say, it does pull in an entire tree if you get it in the right place. It will like take the whole tree in. The one thing is, if you do get a little bit too close to the chipping head, it will pull the tree out to the harvester and then just like let go of it. So just bear in mind when you're feeding it through to not get a bit too close. Well, it looks like that trailer's full. So you'll call that for the last tree. So what I probably will do is, going forward, is may just keep the wood chipper hooked up for the shorter offcuts as we go. So I'll cut the trees into 6 meter lengths. So if we can get rid of these. Cut the trees into 6 meter lengths, and then when we get to the shorter bits at the end, can then put those into the wood chipper. So we'll get the wood chips and we'll still get the 6 meter lengths as well of logs to load up separately. I mean, that way we'll make a lot more money, because the end pieces of the trees are usually not worth selling, and that can be a bit of pain to load up with the grab. So this might be an easy way to go with those bits. Good thing about the wood chipper as well, it is nice and mobile, so we can just move it around fairly easy. I'll just put these last couple of logs in, get that trailer load sold, and then we'll sell whatever's left in the actual wood chipper. So it does have its own kind of internal storage, even though it doesn't actually show up. If I actually get into the wood chipper, no. Yeah, so it does seem to store some of the wood chips inside the actual wood chipper, but there's no visual of how much that capacity is. So it probably will start filling up again when we drive back by it. But this should take us up to just below 115,000. We have opened up that area now. We possibly look at getting the spinnery. We won't need much more money. It's 150,000. I think it'd be better to go with the one that does both fabric and clothing in one building, so we only have to put the one production down. So we don't need much more to be able to afford that, and then we can get that up and running next time with the wool we've got from the sheep so far. And possibly look at getting one of the smaller production buildings from Omatana that I mentioned earlier. I did say about putting it down by the farm because it kind of building kind of fits in, but I may look at putting it up here instead next to the other production, but that I'll probably have a look at and decide. So we'll get these last 6,000 litres of wood chips sold. That takes up to 117,939, so that's not bad. So that has pretty much covered the cost of buying the wood chipper and also this trailer. So what I'll do, I'll leave that here, so we'll get that disconnected. We'll just get all this switched off, and then we'll head back home and call it quits for today. So hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Really do appreciate that. And if you're not yet subscribed to this channel, then please do consider subscribing. We've got more Farm Simulator 22 content coming up with this series and the live streams as well on this channel. So again, big thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you again. Goodbye.